Good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm like a minute or two late. I had to reboot the computer real quick before we got the stream started, thanks to Windows. I'm not sure if anybody else has ever experienced this in Windows 10, but every once in a while I'll right click, like in Windows Explorer, I'll right click on a file and like my list will be empty and I won't get anything in there. And that happened to me right before I was starting the stream, so figures. All right, let's make sure we're up and running here. Good morning, guys. Teddy, welcome. Pac-Man, Martin, EA, awesome. Thanks for joining, Pac-Man and Teddy. I think if I don't remember incorrectly, I think this is your first time here too. So I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. Um, we are going to ultimately. I want you guys to decide what we're going to work on today. And since I just booted up my computer, though, I need to open some stuff up. I figured out OBS. The reason why we couldn't view the videos on Monday um, in Big Box was actually because of OBS. I'm not positive, but it seems like if I start up OBS while Big Box is open, it puts it in like 3D graphics mode or something like that, and it allows it to process everything. But if I keep like if I just use a standard desktop, I don't really know what's going on, but the videos won't play in Big Box. So, but thankfully it's not my computer. It's OBS that we were dealing with on Monday. So anyways, I'm loading up the LaunchBox project here, and I have a list of things that I think would be a good idea to work on, but I want you guys to decide what we're going to work on here. Cool. So welcome, Teddy. Infinite percent. Welcome. That's a cool name. I like that name. Hey, Sid. Welcome. Ali. How am I vote at least one thing if possible? Grouping games, the ability to see games with multiple games as one would make Big Box perfect. Uh, See games with multiple games as one. Sure, that's a major job. Um, so probably not something we're going to tackle today, to be honest. And the one thing to note is we're still working on putting out 6.4. Oh, multiple discs. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That is a big important issue. So here's the thing, Ali. I think we'll probably tackle that for 6.5. Um, I am hoping to tackle that very soon, though, because seriously, that's a major thing we need to resolve for sure. So that's coming. However, I do have a list of things here in front of you guys now that I need to. Let's figure this out. One, just some things that we could do today. Clean up big box options categories. We can get started on LED Blinky development. Could update ScummVM. Or we could work on the LaunchBox Games Database. And I'm open to other ideas too, as long as they're not so lengthy that we would have to, that we're not going to fit them into 6.4. Um, but these 5 things are the things that I had in mind that we could possibly work on today. So let me know your thoughts on that. Again, that's cleaning up big box in the big box options. They're kind of messy right now, and it's hard to find stuff because it's not. I don't like the way everything's organized, and most people complain about it too. So that's one thing we could do is reorganize those options. The LED blinky stuff. Hopefully everybody knows what that is. If we do the LED blinky stuff, that's one of the very first things I want to do after we come up with 6.5. So if we do start working on that, we probably won't see it until after 6.4 is released, but that's okay. And then obviously updating ScummVM is pretty obvious. Then the LaunchBox Games Database, we got submission comments for changes, which is important, and then allow changing platform on the games is the other thing if we do work on the LaunchBox Games Database. ScummVM. Hey, Shades. Yeah, that would be quick. That's not going to take long to update ScummVM. So if that's the I mean, if that's what you guys want to do, that's nice and quick, and then we can come back to something else. At least it should be nice and quick. You never know. Database sounds smart, or the big box thing, the options. Teddy thought about a list view in LaunchBox, a bit like the rocket launcher view. It would make things easier. LaunchBox does have a list view, Teddy, actually. Um, so I'm not sure if you're aware of that. Pac-Man, I would not mind seeing work on LED Blinky. Yeah, we might have trouble here figuring out what to do. Database or big box options. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to count up the votes. Let me do that, I guess. So starting on top, we've got ScummVM. We got one for ScummVM. Um, database one or the big box thing. Everybody gets 2 votes. How's that? And one there. Teddy, I thought about a list view in LaunchBox. Yeah, I would not mind to see work on LED Blinky. So we got 1 vote for everything right now. Database or big box options. So we got 2 on big box and 2 on database. Would voter organizing options personally. Would vote organizing options personally. Don't find them very logical. Yeah, I don't either. I need it. They were basically, I mean, I just kept reworking them because and sticking stuff in, and they expanded much bigger than I originally figured they would. One thing about LaunchBox is that whenever I launch, it resets ScummVM even though I updated it. Yeah, that's another thing we could work on, Shades. That's true. That's true. So update ScummVM version and stop from overwriting. That makes a lot of sense. The one thing with that is the trick with that is ultimately when we update ScummVM, we kind of have to overwrite it, but we don't want to overwrite it if the user updates it. That's the trick. It's not straightforward as far as figuring that stuff out, but we can look into that maybe. ScummVM Ali is an adventure game emulator, basically a whole bunch of adventure game engines from back in the day, mostly DOS games, stuff like that. So it plays all the Sierra adventure games and all the LucasArts adventure games and a lot more. Database is good too. Have a big ticket on that tool. Hey, DJ Quad. So right now, obviously cleaning up the big box options wins, believe it or not. So let's do that. Let's get that done. And then we will move on to maybe updating ScummVM. And from there, because neither of those tasks are going to be that huge. And then maybe from there we can move on to the database. That sounds like a good plan, guys. Let's do it. All right, so big box options. Let's go into data options pages. So all that should be involved with this is to just move these things around, move all these lines around. Let's load up Big Box and decide what the different categories should be first here. So let me do that. And we can track what the categories should be. So under options, we have general right now. One thing I know we need is transitions so that we move all the transitions together. I know we'll probably want to keep image cache. We're going to want to keep keyboard mappings and controller and controller buttons. and controller automation are going to stay the same ultimately. Same thing with the mouse. The rest of the stuff is what kind of needs tweaked. I think security should stay the same. Speak up, guys, if I if you don't think I'm making sense here, but so the general options, the stuff we need to restructure, I would say are general, um, game images, games list, game details, game menu. What did I do there? Weird. Okay. And then the filters ones. Filters images, filters list, filters details, and platform details. Does that sound about what we need to do? I think yeah, because the confusion is all in the games and the filters and the platform stuff. That's where everything's hidden that you can't find and all that junk. So, and then we'll probably have to create some new categories, figure out where that stuff should go. Cool, Martin. Well, have a good one whenever you do leave. All right, so let's go ahead and close out a big box. Starting with general, we'll start dividing these up, I guess. We have theme. I think we'll probably need to keep general. And we have theme. That should, well, I don't know. What do you guys think? How should we where should we put theme? How should we divide this up? Repeat game music. That could be under music. Well, let's make some potential categories here. We could add music. I don't know. Background fade. Screen transition. Obviously, screen transition is going to be moved. And then we have all these sound options. So that should be its own thing for sure. All right. So first things first, let's create some new categories here. Close out of that. General sound is definitely one we're going to need. We're going to need the transitions one. Oh, options pages. There it is. Come on. Strings.label sounds. We'll need to add that, of course. And then I'm going to take these 4 settings here. And we don't need to change, this all makes sense as far as the text. Some of the text we might have to change just because otherwise it might be confusing once we move something around. I need to change general to sound. Okay, so that's a start. And actually repeat game music could go in sound as well. I'm going to change this to audio. And eventually we'll add our volume controls and all that stuff here. Okay, theme we'll leave in general for now because I'm not sure what to do with that really. Background fade kind of goes with theme, so we could call this call a new category like visuals or something. Screen transition is going to be moved to a new transitions entry, so let's add that. Should just copy a lot of this stuff. Options pages dot transitions not equal to null. Return it. And this is going to be labeled transitions. And then we'll get rid of the items and move screen transition over to here for starters. We need to change this. All right. So that's a good start. We have options to show hidden and broken games. Showing the startup splash screen, showing the loading game message, the frame rate, video playback engine, cover flow image quality, cover flow reflection opacity, and skip game details screen. So we could separate this stuff out into visuals and stuff like that, but I'm thinking maybe we'll leave that the same for the most part for now, and we can come back to that if we want to. Hey Doss, welcome. We are working right now on reorganizing the big box options to be more user friendly, because right now they're kind of jumbled and hard to find the right find where they all are. For example, like transitions are scattered all the way across the board, so if you want to find all the transition settings, it's a royal pain. So we're trying to clean that up a little bit and make it a little bit more user friendly. Okay, the image cache isn't going to be changed really. Security we weren't going to change. Game images is definitely something we want to change here. We will need a category for videos, I think. I'm thinking we might want to just create an images. Cool. Thanks, Doss. An images section maybe, and a videos section maybe. But we'll start going through this stuff. This could go in an images section. Here's a transition. There's 3 of them here. We'll move those. Use background videos. There's our transitions. Switch this up. Okay. So I do feel like we should create an images section and a videos section. Everybody agree? Does that make sense? And throw all the image options in one and the video options in the other. So images, videos, why do I keep typing instead of copying and pasting? Whoops. There we go. Transitions, this one's going to be images. Should just do a search and replace dot transitions with dot images. And then we should get rid of, not the top one, those 4. This will be label images. And then we need one for videos. Label videos. All right. So we can move stuff into those now. Show clear logo in game details. Show platform clear logo in games list. Game image type. All that stuff is under images. And this stuff, obviously, it makes sense where it's going to show up. So, or I mean, what it's referring to. So we don't need to rename anything. Yeah. Game image type. Yep. So that's all clear. And then videos. Right here. Oh, we need to rename these. You have to watch for that. This is probably kind of boring development to watch, guys. Sorry for that. It is something we need to get done, though, so I'm glad you guys picked it. Yeah, I think it'll make things a lot smoother, because right now it's just a lot of hunting and pecking, however the saying is. All right, so thankfully that means we can get rid of game images. So we'll delete that, and we'll go ahead and delete the game images section. And then if we go down again, we're on to image cache, which is going to stay the same, I think. Security stays the same. Games list. Games list view. So views might be one we want. I'm not sure. If we do, there's really only like 2 options for the views, though. Hmm. All right, this is audio. I'm changing my mind. I kind of want to rename that to sound. Whatever. So this is tricky a little bit. Here's another transition. So that'll go in transitions. Show favorited games first. This is kind of games list. This kind of applies. Show star next to favorited games. Show favorited games first. Show games list title and the particular games list view. Hmm. I don't know. I'm thinking I kind of want to just leave that one. Oh, DOS. Adding favorites from in Big Box is still there. You can still do that. Uh, Maybe you've got your Big Box locked. Is that why? Game details. I'm thinking this kind of makes sense to keep there in that section too. Let's take a look though. Uh, Autoplay music and game details. We want to move out to audio. We are going to want to organize these a little bit. But all these various items to show the pieces, obviously that is game details. That only makes sense. Labels show all these various items. Game details transition is a transition. We want to move that one. And cover flow details transition. And then maybe we should just leave game details alone, I'm thinking. Game details. Game menu. This is the same kind of thing. This just hides and shows items that show up for the game menu. Um, that only makes sense. Filters images. This definitely needs divided up. There you go, DOS. Cool. So what we could do is add an option in Big Box to allow people to favorite games while their Big Box is locked. That's uh, that's another thing that would make sense to add, so that you know if you like to keep your Big Box locked, but you still want people to be able to favorite games, you can do that. Okay, this is images. Use platform fan art backgrounds. Use platform device image backgrounds. Use platform clear logo backgrounds. Use random game image backgrounds. This is for filters. So throwing these in images is going to be confusing. We might need to rename some of the titles. So we'll come back to that. Let's get the transitions. And then we have videos. And I already forgot here to rename some of these. are. These will definitely go in videos. Oh, and these we're going to need to um, change the text on these because there's two of them that say the same thing. Is one applies to games and one applies to label use game background videos and use platform background videos. And then use random game videos for missing platform videos. That's perfect just the way it is. And then we are on filters images. So we have these 5 image options. I need to go to the images section. And we can delete then filters images. Come on. All right. Now we got to check the titles on these. Show clear logo and game details. Show platform clear logo and games list. Game image type. Use platform fan art backgrounds. Fine. Use platform device image backgrounds. Fine. Use platform clear logo backgrounds. Use random game image backgrounds. This is the only one that's confusing right here, I think. Preferred clear logo for main platform image. So use random game image backgrounds for filters. We'll need to do that. Okay, we're getting there. So filters list. Platforms list view. Show filters list title. Autoplay music for recent and favorite games. That's music. That needs to go to sound. And then show recent games and show favorite games. We might want to rename this. I'm not sure. Hey Silent Hill, welcome. We're working on reorganizing the big box options to be more user-friendly right now. Should be done with that relatively soon here, but that's what we're working on for the moment. I need audio. Platforms list view. We could make a new one called views and put the list stuff yeah, we could combine games list and filters list into something called views, maybe. Filters details. Yeah, we want to leave this the way it is. Platform details. Yeah, all these options to show the various things. We do have a transition in here. Let's get rid of that and move that up. Okay. Otherwise, that makes sense, I think. Then keyboard mappings isn't going to change. Controller isn't going to change. Controller buttons. Controller automation. Mouse. Yeah, we're in good shape at this point. That's good. So, um, the one thing I was thinking was to merge games list and filters list into a views group, and I think that makes sense because people are going to look for, okay, I want to change the view. Where do I go? They're going to look for a views section. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and then under filters list, I'm going to grab these. Oh, games list was first. Okay. Now this stuff needs dot games list with dot views. Yeah. Shoot. Fine. I'll do it manually. So I ran out of coffee. I have coffee, but it's decaf. Can you guys tell? I, I feel like I'm dragging a little bit this morning because I didn't get my full caffeine coffee. All right. So, next thing, obviously, let's get these labels fixed. That's quick. And I want to go through and confirm things, basically. Confirm the ordering of things. What am I doing? Open up that. That's not what it. Yeah, there we go. Strings. And I'm going to drag this over here to make this quicker and easier for me. Even though you guys can't see it. Sorry. I wanted to change this to sound. I don't like audio. Sound. Sound. And then, yeah, we're going to get rid of games list and filters list. Okay, and we need, this is going to be labeled sound. Oh, we already have label sound. Okay, cool. Label transitions. Oh, come on, guy. Sometimes my string resources like to go haywire on me. Which one do I delete? we go. Oops. Oh, I see. I deleted the wrong one. Great. Label transitions. Okay, and then the next one is label use random game image backgrounds for filters. Use random game image backgrounds for filters. Yeah, so it's creating the strings 1. I need to delete that one. There we go. And then just a couple more. Use game background videos and use platform background videos. All right. Okay. Do some jumping jacks or a cold shower or listen to some gangster rap. Yeah. I don't know about that. Jumping jacks sound awful to me right now. So does a cold shower. And gangster rap does as well. Usability design is a well-paid job in the industry. It should be. Yeah, I agree. It's a big deal, and it's not always easy, especially like when you're in the middle of development. And um, I mean, every time you add options, if you want to keep things the most usable, sometimes you got to restructure everything visually, which is the issue we ran into here. Is our original structure made sense for the initial options we had, but then we just kept piling on options, and it kind of got out of hand. All right, so I think the next thing we should do is go through and make sure everything's in the right order and stuff like that. But we can do that in Big Box itself. We do need to where we build the parent menu. We're gonna have to fix that because we added some stuff and we got rid of some stuff. So the build is going to fail here. There it is. So this is where we build the whole menu. And the new stuff we added sound, transitions, images, videos, and views. So start with, we have general. Obviously these are going to be deleted. So on the bottom we have all the mapping stuff. Filters details and platforms details. Game details, game menu, image cache and security. Let's go images, videos, sound, transitions, views, something like that. Or maybe views second. Yeah, let's go views, images, videos, sound, transitions. And then we'll get into the other stuff. It's still a lot there, but um, I think it'll be a lot easier to work with, at least. There's a lot of options for sure. So I'm gonna just copy this 5 times. And we have views, images, videos, sound, transitions, and we got to update these as well. Views, images, videos, sound, transitions. The only other thing I'm thinking is that image cache should be by images. Then we have security and all the details. I think that'll work. Let's see what it looks like. Just a quick build. Okay, and we'll go into options now. Oh, okay. So I've got to fix that. That's not right. It fits barely. Obviously, it would scroll if it didn't, but general. Why are these out of order? I did something wrong here. Well, let's check on that. Hmm. I bet I messed up the pages themselves. We have sound, label sound, transitions, label transitions, images, label images, videos, label videos, views, label videos. There we go. And I think that's all the new ones. So that's what I screwed up. Hopefully that's it. I had another one of these for label views. There we go. Oh, the other thing was label sound. I need to fix that too. I'm just call this label sound menu. Okay. Build. Give it a run. Okay, we start with general on top. We go down to views. One thing that's interesting, views could have theme in it. That kind of makes sense. Same thing with background fade. So we could divide a little bit of this stuff up. I think that makes a lot of sense actually. and then um, putting the list views or putting the view types together. Yeah, we're gonna need to reorder a lot of this stuff, I think. So we'll go through and do that, but otherwise I think this is looking all right. Still quite lengthy, but nothing we can do about that. Hey Vissy, welcome. Hey Anoob. Uh, beside geometry and some basic physics, what math courses on Khan Academy should I take working on 2D effects? Good question. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Uh, I haven't done a whole lot with that stuff. You probably don't need that much math, to be honest. But obviously, effects do require a lot more math than other type of development. But that's not my area of expertise, unfortunately. Silent Hill. What games have I been playing? Not nearly as many as I wish I would be. I could be playing, but because last week was a train wreck for me because I was watching the kids and working on this stuff, and so I barely had any time at all. But this week, or the week before, I was playing a lot of Just Cause 3. I'm still playing through that game. That's been my main game for the moment. I'm enjoying that, and then also Doom. I have Tomb Raider on my plate to play. The Witcher 3. I'm in the middle of playing. Uh, Played a lot of Skyrim recently. Um, what else? Yeah, I haven't put a whole lot of time into many retro games recently, which is something I need to get back into. All right, so let's see. So we want to divide that up a little bit. Maybe even. It almost makes sense to create child sections, another level. I don't think we're going to do that today, but I'm not sure though, because that always makes things convoluted. Anyways, so let's divide up general a little bit. Theme needs to go into views. We have background fade. I should have grabbed that too, because that can go into views as well. I want to restructure this a little bit. We're going to move up the platforms list view option underneath the games list view. And then show games list title, show star next to favorited games, show favorited games first, show filters list title, show recent games, show favorite games. And then these are confusing because we don't know that they apply to the filters. So I'm going to change show filters recent games, show filters favorite games. Then we have background fade. That makes some sense. Visi, we're working on reorganizing the options for Big Box to make them more user-friendly. Interesting. Teddy. Recently finished Final Fantasy X. Sure. That's cool, Sid. I could never get into those Lego games. I don't know what my problem is. I don't know what it is. It doesn't. I've only tried a couple of them. A Lego Star Wars one. Actually, I think they were both Lego Star Wars, different Star Wars Lego games. Okay, let's get the strings added for show filters recent games and show filters favorite games. I did it backwards, didn't I? Whoops. That would be pretty confusing if I didn't catch that one. All right. Then under general, we were dividing this up. Show hidden games, show broken games, that is general, that makes sense. Show startup splash screen, that's general. Show loading game message, sure, that's general. Label frame rate, general. Video playback engine, that needs to go under videos, for sure. Cover flow image quality, cover flow reflection opacity. Um, that could go under images. And then skip game details screen. Yeah, let's move those. I think we'll stay there for the moment. Let's just take a look at the sorting of these and see if there's anything we want to change sorting wise inside of the different categories. Show hidden games, show broken games, show startup splash screen. I'm going to put that on top because that kind of makes sense. Show loading game message. Frame rate. Skip game details screen and put that third. We'll do it like that. And then for sound, repeat game music, play startup sound. Let's put these play options first. Then all the music is together. All right. Transitions. We have the screen transition. That's first. That's the way it should be. We have all the game transitions. This applies to everything. Background transition does. So let's put that second. This is confusing because this is for platforms, for filters, I mean. Yeah, alright, so this needs to be labeled filters, main image transition, filters game boxes transition, Platforms video transition, platform details transition. So another series of strings. Label filters, main image transition. And filters, game, boxes, transition. There. Okay, I think we're good there. And then images. Show clear logo in game details. Show platform clear logo in games list. Game image type should be top. Use platform fan art, device, clear logo for clear logo for main platform image. I think that'll be okay. And then videos, video playback engine, background videos, random game videos. That works. Views, the theme, and then we have the two views, and then we have games list options, filters list options, and background fade. I think that'll do. And then image cache isn't going to change. Security is fine. Game details is fine. Game menu is fine. Filters details is fine. Platform details is fine. Keyboard mappings, controller, controller buttons, controller automation, mouse. We're good, I think. We shall see. Yeah, videos though. I mean more videos right now is just like playing back actual videos rather than like video screen kind of stuff. So I think we'll keep frame rate in general, but that does make some sense. I think that gets obviously that's just confusing because of the verbiage. Okay, and OBS is sort of messing up my videos still. Okay, options. Start with general. That looks good to me. Views. This is empty because I got rid of the view. Yeah. Images. That works. Image cache. Videos. Sound. Transitions. Yeah, a whole bunch of different transitions here. Nice to have those together. Security. Game details. Game menu. Filters details. Platform details. Keyboard mappings. Controller. Controller buttons. Controller automation, and mouse. I'm happy with that, guys. What do you guys think? Anything else we should change before we move on? I'm going to go into my changelog. Call this an improvement. Big box options have been. Thanks, Pac-Man. Great. Thanks, EA. Good to hear. Big box options have been restructured to make them much more user-friendly. The only issue is, of course, I've already given the translation stuff to the translators, Clive Barker and Opek Lopper and Watu. So I need to tell them that I've updated the strings list once again. Hopefully they don't get too angry with me on that. Right, so this is done. The next thing we were going to take a look at is updating ScummVM, right? I think. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and get ScummVM updated. So, looks like I am probably going to have to install it. Although that's not really what I want to do. Combine controller and keyboard options. Maybe. Yeah, that would make sense as far as like keeping allowing you to assign buttons or keys in the same view. That's probably smart. Probably won't tackle that right now, but because there's more involved than just moving stuff around. I'd have to um, you know, get it so that it would do both at the same time. So probably won't do that right now, but that is probably a good idea. That would make sense. Okay. Take a look at this ticket shades. Sure. Well, we won't do a big revamp for ScummVM today, but we'll get the version upgraded, and then game names in your list could use some reordering. Games like The Dig are under T instead of D. Sure, that makes sense. Uh, there's a lot we can do to improve ScummVM in LaunchBox right now, obviously. So we could spend all day on ScummVM. We'll see what we can pull off today here, though. Cool. All right. Can I extract this ScummVM setup? Probably not. Nope. All right, we'll run the setup. All right. And I'm just going to basically copy this stuff out of program files. ScummVM. We'll just grab this folder. We want everything except for the uninstall stuff, likely. So, and the way I do this, the way I integrate this is I've got a big old zip file right now. Dropbox conflict. Under source, LaunchBox, source, LaunchBox, resources. I have a libraries.zip file, which actually ends up inside of the LaunchBox exe. And that contains all the libraries like DOSBox and ScummVM and all that stuff. So the first thing to do is just get the files in there. There's my ScummVM folder. Looks like they've changed stuff a little bit here. But I'm going to go ahead and delete everything that's in there currently. And go grab... Oh, I got rid of my folder apparently. Program files, ScummVM. I'm going to copy all this stuff. Go back and paste it here. And then I just need to rebuild my zip. That's right. We do use 7-zip in some cases, but we use a standard zip for this just because I want it to extract quickly, as quick as possible. So I just use a normal zip, and I'm not sure if that's good logic or not. Actually, you know what? No, we have several zip libraries that we use. One is 7-zip full on, and the other is oh, of course, because 7-zip, you see right here, is actually inside of the zip. And so I use the zip algorithm to extract the 7-zip library. Oh, man. Anyways, all right. So then the next thing, I mean, that's easy, but we need to check to make sure everything works, of course. But the next thing is like the issue of it always overwriting what you've currently got. I think it's still going to do that right now. So let's go ahead and build it, and we should get the latest version of ScummVM so we can test it, make sure everything's working. Okay. I'm going to do it in my dev instance so I don't screw anything up. All right. I'm in German. All right. So I'm just going to add a new game manually here to test ScummVM. We'll add King's Quest 6 for MS-DOS. Sure, we'll get some metadata. That's the one. Just download some images for kicks. I really don't need to be doing this. Just being silly. Come on, eat me movies, hurry up. Game was not found. Alright. So anyways, under ScummVM, I'm going to say use ScummVM. My game data folder path, I have that under LaunchBox Games MS-DOS. Oh crap, come on. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, Shades, I don't really know why that would be a problem. The only thing I can think of is it is a command line parameter option. So MS-DOS King's Quest 6. There it is. The game is King's Quest 6. Alright, it should work. Yep, it's on my other monitor, but it's loaded here.
Taking off your
So we're good. ScummVM's been updated. Let's obviously open ScummVM. That's working. We're on 1.8.1, which I think was the latest, right? Yep. All right. So the only other thing is to deal with it. Well, not the only other thing, but the other thing I wanted to tackle today was to deal with it. Um, let's close out of this. Deal with it overwriting the files if you wanted to switch it out. And I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that. I mean, it's easy to disable. Yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, I can show you exactly what I'm doing to run the games. One thing I've learned with ScummVM is they use very different logic in their GUI than they do in the command line options. So unfortunately, just because you've never done command line options doesn't mean that the issue isn't that. Unfortunately, the command line stuff needs revamped for ScummVM, uh, and they. So I mean, I honestly I don't know how we're going to solve that issue. I don't know if it's going to even be possible, and it may be. The ball may fall in ScummVM's court to fix up something. Honestly, I don't think there's anything I'm doing that would mess up MT32 emulation. LaunchBox does not recognize the MT32 ROM. Oh, it could be a folder path issue, maybe? I have placed it where ScummVM says to place it, and it works fine when I launch a game through ScummVM. If there's some place you require the roll-in MT32 ROM to be located, or is this a bug? It could be a bug with ScummVM, or it could be that we need a command line option, or it could be that ScummVM expects the different active folder. It could be a number of different things. Let me take a look, I guess. Um, if we go into launch, no, we need, let's just go into the program files one. ScummVM with a question mark. Help, fine. ScummVM help. So these are all the command line options. MT32. Native MT32 is an option. If you think that would, if you think that'll do it. Sure, Shades. The I'm wondering if. So the question is, yeah, if we add native MT32 to the command line, is that going to fix it? Is that you think that might fix it, or do you think that's not likely to do it? Shades. I don't really know. I haven't played with this stuff too much, and it's been a long time since I worked with this stuff. But there are a ton of different command line parameters, obviously. And the thing is, like I said earlier, what I've noticed with ScummVM is the defaults that ScummVM uses when you use the GUI interface are sometimes completely different than the defaults that are used when you use the command line interface, which just doesn't make any sense to me, but that's how they've got it set up for some reason. Command line designer too. Yeah. Uh, so we can try, I mean, adding that. We would need an option to add it. First, I want to go into the fact that we're overwriting ScummVM. Not sure what we can do about that. Hey, OPAC, welcome. Okay, Shades, that sounds good. So if we go into program and what is it? It's actually extract libraries. And we have a method called should overwrite. And so basically, and this is saying anything inside the ScummVM folder, I should overwrite um, every time. Ultimately, is what this is saying. If the size isn't the same, we should overwrite it, which is kind of it helps in performance not to overwrite the files every single time you start up the application, but it's a little bit janky, I will admit. Um, so this is kind of what we need to change. If I got rid of ScummVM here, what would happen is that everybody would have to manually update the ScummVM, and it would never, the latest version would never get replaced. Or I mean, it would never get updated automatically for people. But that's why we're overwriting this stuff. So I don't know. I'm not sure what to do here as far as to make it so that ScummVM isn't automatically overwritten. I mean, we could add a setting to check to see if this update has run, and only do it once, maybe. That's the best idea I've got, although that's got potential issues. I don't know. With I ran into a similar issue with the metadata recently, and I ended up putting a little dummy file in the metadata folder to handle that situation. And the reason I did that is because the settings, when you load up all the metadata, the settings aren't even loaded yet, so I can't check for that stuff. So we could do the same thing for ScummVM. Why don't we do that? I think that's probably the best idea. Is put a dummy file in the metadata folder called ScummVM 181 to see if it's updated or not. So let's do that, because that'll solve the problem. Is in the most proper way we can. I think that's going to solve it. So if entry.name.starts with ScummVM ordinal ignore case, string dummy file path equals, it's going to be the same here, except it's going to change the last part of it. Let's call this scum 181. Okay, and if it doesn't exist, then we'll return true. And then where do I create it is the question. If we do return, well, the thing is, this is going to happen more than once. We're going to have to create the scum 181 dummy file somewhere. It's the only thing. So that this thing only happens once. Sounds like a government agency. Yeah. Shades, I'm thinking that might be looking for the MT32 in your exe and not the ScummVM folder. Sure, it's possible. I don't really know. It's certainly possible. One thing you could do to help me out, Shades, is try and get it to work using command line parameters. If you can figure out how to get it to work using command line parameters on your machine without LaunchBox, then we'll know exactly how to do it in LaunchBox, if that makes sense. So if you can do it without the interface and do it from the command line, and then send me over those instructions on how to do it, then it's an easy fix for the most part. All right, so Scum 181, we only overwrite the files in the ScummVM folder if the Scum 181 file is not found. So the only other thing to do is after we extract ScummVM, we run the extract libraries, we need to create that scum181 file. So let's go ahead and do that. This is in ensure config files and folders. After extract libraries, we're going to say if not file that exists, except I need to get that path again. This guy. Say string scum file path is that, and then if not file that exists, scum file path. Basically I just want to write a 0-byte text file. That's the easiest way to do that. I know I do that somewhere. Oh, it's easy. File.write all text. The path is scum file path. String contents. This file is used to tell LaunchBox that ScummVM has already been updated to version 1.8.1. There it is. Please do not delete this file. I don't like putting random files in places, but in this particular case, there's not a whole lot of other options. And it's in the metadata subfolder, so it's not too terrible. All right. I think that'll solve it, really. So we'll build it. I won't ask what it means. I won't ask at all. What? Oh no. All right. So we're built. I'm going to start up my. Now we'll use our test instance. And then if I open my debug LaunchBox folder here, and we go into metadata, we have scum181 in here, as it should be. And it shouldn't overwrite the stuff. So now if I go into my ScummVM folder, and for example, we replace, because this should be 1.8.1 right now, it is. And this is 1.8.0. So if I grab 1.8.0 and we go back and I overwrite 1.8.1 with 1.8.0, now that we have already upgraded it, it shouldn't upgrade it again, basically. So we're looking at 1.8.0 version of ScummVM. And if I close down and restart, it shouldn't overwrite it a second time. ScummVM. Uh-oh. It's back to 1.8.1. What did I do wrong? Crap. I messed something up. Well, let's walk through the process, I guess. Let's go. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what my problem is. It's all about code I didn't remove. Under extract libraries, should overwrite. I forgot to take out this line right here. That's why I test. There it is. Yeah, Billy, Scum really only plays adventure games. It might have expanded out a little bit to some other oddities, but it's almost strictly adventure games. Okay, so I'm going to go back here one more time. Go into ScummVM, and this should be version 1.8.0. And I'm going to copy this stuff and overwrite my upgraded one, which is 1.8.1. We're going to overwrite that with 1.8.0. So now in this LaunchBox folder, we have 1.8.0. If I start it up again, it should stay as 1.8.0. Okay. There it is. But if I go back and I go into metadata and I delete this scum181 file and close it out, start it up again, it should overwrite it, and we should have the latest version of ScummVM. And we do. There it is. So we're good with that. ScummVM now won't ScummVM won't be automatically overwritten anytime you replace it. Yay! So that's a good solution. So let's go to the changelog and update that stuff. It's not really any new features. I'm going to say improvement. ScummVM has been updated to version 1.8.1. In addition, if you manually replace ScummVM in the future, it will no longer be overwritten, no longer be automatically overwritten. All right. The only other thing that is typically important when I update ScummVM is to update the list of games. So, because they're always adding game support. And my list of games is kind of just a cheap little dictionary, I think. If I go into, I've got a ScummVM class, and here's the entire list of games. And yeah, it's not sorted or anything. It's literally just doing it with the sorting that I have in the code. So I could go through and resort this out. And it's a pain in the butt because every single time they come out with a new version, there's new games, and I got to go through and update this list and do a line by line comparison. There's a compatibility. Yeah, we got all these games. I'm not sure I want to go through all the games and do a comparison. What is the new stuff? That's what I need to figure out. What's the new stuff? 1.8.1. So change log maybe? I need a change log so I know what they added for 1.8.1. Nah. Maybe in ScummVM itself there's a change log. I don't know. Oh, look at this. See how MT32 is defaulting to nothing shades? I'm willing to bet it's just that I mean, you have to customize this stuff via command line options, I'm guessing. I'm not sure, but I would expect. Huh. I don't know, though. Let's change log. Maybe it's in here. News, new ports. These are particular games that they're improving. I don't see any new games listed here, though. So maybe they didn't add any. Maybe we're done. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say we're done because I don't feel like going through this list and comparing all the games. I think we're good. Good enough. For now on that, we could go in and dive into the MT32 stuff and all that stuff, but I think I'll wait for shades offline on that. So we have a little bit over an hour left in our stream here. So let's keep going. The next thing we were going to take a look at was we were going to head back to the LaunchBox Games Database for submission comments and allow changing the platform. So let's go ahead and do that. Gotta load up my other project here. All right, so changing the platform, I think, is probably one of the biggest things, and then also submission comments are the two things we need to tackle next. And um, so I think let's go ahead and take a look at the database itself. If we go into any particular game, so I can explain these issues here for you guys. The first thing is there's no way to change the platform on a game right now. So that's one thing we need. And then also, when you, for example, you want to change the name of a game, you click there, and you get a text box to show that shows up, lets you to change the stuff. But there's no comment box. So then you go down to submit changes, and you can't put in any kind of a reason as to why you made those changes. For new games, it's not really needed so much, but it's needed for game changes, I suppose. Um, I think what we'll end up doing is popping up another a pop-up box on submit changes for uh, comments, or maybe even a reference URL or something like that, so that people can confirm it. But I'm interested in everybody's feedback on this stuff, because it's not I haven't really figured out the best way to do that in particular. But we'll start with changing the platforms. That should be straightforward and um, nothing that difficult, I don't think. I hope. So this is going to be in. I got to switch gears here and get back into the web mindset under controllers. Let's start with the view. This is going to be under games details. That's the view we were just looking at. And this is all a big table. Here's all our JavaScript, and then our drop downs. Here's our table that has all the details in it. For platform, well, we've got all this extra stuff in here for the other ones, but for platform, all we do is just list it because we don't have any way to change it. So this is where we need to change the markup. We're going to need an edit link. Probably just copy all that. This isn't going to change. We need this in there instead of the name. And then editing it, we need a drop down. We need a select box that lists all the platforms. So we're going to have to figure out how to populate the platforms there. We have a select somewhere. Here's a select for ESRB. I do want to populate the platforms though automatically. I don't want to have to come in here and change them every time we add a platform. So select name equals platform. Let's make sure it's not a duplicate anywhere. Okay. You're never going to be able to select an empty platform. That doesn't make any sense. But we will need, this is interesting, selected. Oh, sure. That specifies whether the right one is selected or not. Huh. So we got to figure out how to populate these platforms. It's going to have to come back from the view model. Probably do a loop. But for now, let's make sure that we can load up the drop down when we click the edit button. Not sure if there's anything else we need. I don't think there is. Let's go ahead and give it a run. We are going to release 6.4 here before the end of the week. So right now, I believe 6.4 is in. Well, there's a few things I need to address from the beta testing thread. By the end of the day, though, I expect, other than the translations, I expect 6.4 to be ready to go. So we're trying. The only thing is, I did put a note in the translation thread. OPAC, I'm not sure if you saw the. I got all the visual stuff fixed yesterday for the German translation, thankfully, and that took me 4 hours, but I got it done. It's all done. So the German translation is ready to go. There's a minor issue with the titles and some of the uh, in almost all of the windows. For some reason, they all say welcome, or the German translation for welcome. So we should look into that. Um, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Uh, but I'm hoping, yeah, if you can, OPAC, I'm hoping to put out that release relatively soon. So within the next couple days, for sure. Next few days. Because we want to get that out there. Because I want to get back and do some of the more interesting things. The last week and a half or so, we've been basically doing the boring bug fixing and all that stuff, and I'm wrapping that up. Things are in pretty good shape now, so I'm about ready to do the 6.4 and move on. LaunchBox 64. That's awesome. Oh, sure. Cool, OPEC. All right. So let's see. We got our dev instance running here. We just need to load up a game. Don't have to worry about screwing anything up anymore because I'm on a dev instance of the site. Okay, we now have the edit button showing up for the platform, which is good. If we click it, uh-oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not logged in. Sure. Yeah. See if I got this right. Yay. All right. Now, I'm going to do a search. I'm not on the right site. That's the problem. This is all automatic when I'm on the right site, but because I'm in my development site, my URL doesn't match up, and I have to manually go grab this stuff. All right, so now in theory we can click on this and we get the drop down. Not the right values right now, of course, but that's a good start. Next thing, let's see if we can populate that drop down. We need a list of all the available platforms, and that's going to come over from the model somehow or other. This is the games controller details. Here it is. We populate this details table. We have a model where we specify the details, a list of developers. So we just basically need to add another one of these, get platforms list. Model dot platforms stored procedure data table game. No, we don't want game. Let's figure out. Need to load up SQL Server. It's not the LaunchBox database, it's the public database. Programmability, stored procedures. So on platform, we have get all. Let's figure out what that does. Platform key and name. That's all we need. That's perfect. Platform get all. Platform get all. And we don't need any parameters. Dot as dynamic enumerable. And then we have access to the full list of platforms from our view. Actually, Karma, I have a question into Circo on that. I popped him that question yesterday, and I haven't gotten a response back as far as I know yet. I can check my emails because I haven't checked them today because I just got up and hopped right on the stream. So he might have responded to me. Doesn't look like it though. But he'll hit me up soon. I'm not sure um, what's going on with that for the immediate, but or really how long that's going to take. But I should find out soon. All right. So we added platforms to the games controller for the details. Then what we can do in theory is loop through them all. And see if there's a for each I can refresh myself on in this somewhere. Okay. For each, it's straightforward. Oops. All right. So we're going to do for each var platform in this dot model dot platforms. Maybe that'll work. I hope. Yeah, everybody's whining about that lately. Downloading updates is so slow. Let's talk about that for a little bit. So, I don't get it. Frankly, I just straight up don't get it. Because whenever I download an update, it it happens in 15, 20 seconds. So I don't understand. The only thing I can think of is that it's because the server is located in the U.S. and people outside the U.S. are having trouble. I don't get it. I don't understand why it's so slow. But okay, so we're downloading this update. 30 seconds, 24 seconds, 18 seconds. I mean, it's quick. I don't know what the I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why a lot of people are having issues. I've never seen it go slow. So I've got to figure that out, I guess. I'm not sure if it's the updater inside of LaunchBox itself that's causing a problem for people. That's a possibility. 600 kilobytes per second. Or is it kilobits per second? Everything Ethernet is quick. Over Wi-Fi it varies on the machine. Usually it's extremely slow on my tablets. Well, that would probably mean that the issue is with LaunchBox and the updater. We use the Microsoft web client to do it, which probably it's possible it's not the best way to do it or something like that. I'm not sure. So that's something to look at. But what I'd really like to know, guys, is if you go through the email process where you get an email sent with a download link. If you click the download link and you download it that way, is it fast? Is it so? What you guys can test for me in that regard is let me know if it seems to be only LaunchBox is the problem, or if it's just everything. I mean, if it's a server that's slow for you. That's what I'm trying to pinpoint. That's what I'm trying to narrow down. So when things are slow, if you would go get an email sent, go to the download process, get an email sent to get a download link, and download it directly to your browser, and see if it's slow that way too, because that's the question. Sometimes it only needs 20 seconds, and sometimes nearly 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that would be. The server, looking at the bandwidth on the server, it's not being overloaded anymore. So I'm almost positive that the server isn't the problem. The only thing I can think of with the server is that in other countries it could just be because it's farther away, but I don't know. You're in LaunchBox, so OPAC, go download it from cancel that process if you would, and go download it from your browser, and let me know if that is fast or slow for you. It doesn't matter whether you're downloading the beta or downloading the official version. So just go download the official version from the website, and let me know if it how long that takes. Good to know, Pac-Man. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Obviously. Sure, the shades that particular issue. I know about that issue. I'm not. I just don't know how to solve that issue. It's I have an idea how to solve that issue, but it's a royal pain in the rear. So that's why I haven't done anything about that. Um, it's because I don't have any way of shutting down. I fire the setup from the LaunchBox exe, and the issue with that is then if the exe doesn't end quick enough at the end, the setup takes over and sees that it's already running. I kind of need an intermediate exe in there to make that happen, but I got to build a whole application to make that happen. It's a pain in the butt. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. Uh, and I am going to want to streamline that process because I know everybody mentions that these days. So just to get people off my back, I want to get that one done. Thank you, OPAC. I appreciate that. All right, so here we are. We're looping through platforms, and we want to add option value equals platform dot platform key. And then we have this weirdness here. Cool. That's always a good feeling, Martin. Is it your end of day right now? Are they in bed for the night? The official version downloads 1.4 megabytes per second at the moment here from Germany. Okay. So, so basically, we're saying this is an issue with LaunchBox itself and how it downloads the updates. It's also slow. 8 minutes for what? Wait a minute. I'm confused. Oh, I see. Okay, Sid was saying. I'm sorry. I'm losing it. 1.4 megabytes per second from Germany, the official version. And OPAC through your browser, you're saying 8 minutes for 137 megabytes, and you did that through your browser. It doesn't make any sense. Where are you located, OPAC? I thought you were in. Are you in Germany too? All right, everybody who's saying it's downloading slow, where are you guys located? As if it's not an issue with LaunchBox itself, you're downloading it through your browser. It's still slow. I'm clueless. It doesn't make any sense. Where's everybody located? Ali, we worked on several things. We're working on the LaunchBox Games Database right now to get allow you to change the platform. But we also updated the version of ScummVM. We stopped ScummVM from being overwritten every time you run LaunchBox. What did we do first, guys? We reorganized all the big box options to make that a much better experience. There is no new update right now, Ali. We're testing download speeds. Australia, okay. SoCal for EA. Okay, well it makes sense that EA it wouldn't be slow for because he's in the U.S. Yeah, Martin, if you wouldn't mind trying to download uh, the latest version of LaunchBox, or just use the site and try and download it and see what kind of speeds you get. Because all I can figure is it's. I mean, this is a good. As much as it feels like we're just wasting time doing this, this is a good situation. I don't get the opportunity to test the download speeds with a bunch of different people in different locations, so it's probably a good idea um, to do. No, just basically downloading LaunchBox itself is what we need to test. Sure. And Sid is from Germany, so I don't get it. I just don't get it. What is causing slow download speeds for only certain people? Very fluctuating. Well, that makes me think there's some kind of stability issue in between the server and you, OPAC, which is odd because that's not normal. I mean, that's not what I see, and that's not what so many other people are seeing. So it's like there's it could be a Wi-Fi issue. It could be that somewhere on the internet, in between my server and your internet connection, there's stability issues somehow. 90 seconds in the UK. Sure, that's not terrible. Would be faster without the streaming. Okay, well that makes sense. Thank you, Martin. I don't know. I don't know. You're not the OPAC. You're definitely not the only one that has that issue. It's not just you. So that's why I'm trying to address it. But I get that complaint. It's frustrating because I get that complaint from people occasionally. Every once in a while I get somebody who has that issue, but I don't know how to solve it. I mean, I've upgraded my server tremendously. I've done everything I can do to get the speed up on the server, and I don't know. I don't know why some people are having slow download issues. Checkwob. That's an interesting point. I doubt it. I could be wrong though. Well, yeah. What versions of Windows are you guys running? Who knows? Maybe that's it. We could do a torrent download, yeah. Although um, I'm sure it's already out there. People are already torrenting it. But to be completely honest with you guys, and this might anger some people. It probably does. I didn't like doing it to begin with, but we have the downloads behind the email address thing. And as far as LaunchBox's business model, we have the way we survive. Literally, the way we survive is by collecting people's emails when they download the app, and anybody can unsubscribe anytime they want. That's not a problem, of course. But the fact that people get the weekly emails sells LaunchBox. Without that, we wouldn't get very good traffic, and so I don't like providing the downloads freely outside of the LaunchBox website because that is our main source of getting access to people, so that we can advertise to them and get them to buy LaunchBox Premium. So as much as I hate, that kind of thing, that is really truly the main thing that gets us traffic and gets us sales. And so without that system, we'd be in trouble. So I definitely the emails are very important, and the fact that we require the email when you first download it, that makes us survive. So if we did a torrent, the problem is then anybody could just go download it, and I'm sure anybody can, But I would prefer to keep it the way it is, just so that we don't start losing all our sales because we're no longer having access to new people that come in. So when new people come in and download LaunchBox, we need the ability to talk to them so that we can encourage them to buy the premium product. And that's been a big, important part of our marketing. So I can't let that go, really. Yeah, 20 seconds or 10 minutes just to, of course. But I mean, at the same time, it's annoying. It's annoying that I'm still having this issue. And it's not just OPAC. It's been a few people here and there. So, anyways, downloaded in 22 seconds. Thank you, Ali. That's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. Um, that's about what I see. 20, 30 seconds. So, anyways, I don't know, guys. I was still waiting on an answer from some people as far as where they're located. OPAC, you're in Germany, right? Resell my lunchbox and become a millionaire. Yeah, thanks, OPAC. I appreciate that. Anyways, let's move on. I don't really know what to do. Fix that. Denmark, okay. So it's not like distance is making that much of a difference for people. I don't know. I have no clue. Um, I mean, one thing the one thing I have talked about. Sorry, I keep going back to this. The one thing I have considered doing for the downloads is putting them on something like Amazon S3, um, which would, in theory, help because I don't know if it would really help. I would, in theory, it should help as far as like overall access around the world, but I'm not sure. I don't really know if that's going to help a whole lot, even for downloading images. Whoops. Put it back. Put it back. There it is. Yeah. Uh, well, that's what we just tested for, Checkwild. We just tested. We just had him downloaded from a browser too, and he had the same issue. That was my initial hunch is that yeah, it's just the downloader in the app, but he has the same problem from the browser too. So I don't know. I don't get it. All I can figure is there's some kind of instability or slow connection between his computer and my server, which doesn't affect everybody, but you can imagine the internet is a very complicated thing. Um, Computers connected to computers connected to computers, on and on and on, many levels deep. There are tools you can use to track that stuff as far as ping rates and stuff, so you can, and I'm not a network expert, but the ideal thing to do in this situation for OPAC is to get a network expert to sit down at his computer and run all these command line tools to check every step that is made. Every computer puts a step in there, and you can watch that stuff using network statistics to figure out, okay, where's the problem, and then it's actually possible to identify. And I'm not an expert with any of this stuff. I've seen it done, but I don't know how to do it. Uh, but it's actually possible to watch and check where the slowest point in the uh, in the network traffic is, so you can identify what the problem is. But once you identify what the problem is, at that point you have to fix the problem, and naturally, or most likely, we're not going to be able to fix the problem because there's probably going to be some random ISP somewhere that is connecting my ISP with OPAC's ISP. It's complicated. It's hairy, and I don't really know what to do about that. I don't think there's anything we can do really. Anyways, enough on that tangent. Sorry, I don't have a better solution for you, OPAC. Oh, what? What is this? Interesting. So value is the platform key, and whether it's selected or not, excuse me, we have the game model.details. Okay. So in theory, we can do something like this. This.model.details.platform key equals platform.platform key, then selected, otherwise string.empty. And then we put platform.name, and we close our option. And hopefully that will actually work for us. We shall see. The only thing I'm not sure about is, do we have platform key in details? I think we should. Under game get details, we do have platform key right there. So in theory, mess that up. In theory, we should have the list of platforms in there. We'll give it a shot. Oh, Amazon. Yeah, it's the Amazon cloud thing. Basically, it's called Amazon S3, and yeah, it's not going to be restricted for countries. It's just it's basically a server farm that Amazon hosts. Um, so yeah, it wouldn't be restricted. I blame OPAC. Yes, it'll work in Denmark for sure. All right. Here we go. Game. Actually, I've already got a game loaded up here. No reason to go through that process. Come on. Little box. Okay. So 3DO Interactive Multiplayer, if we... There it is. There's a list of platforms. 3DO Interactive Multiplayer is on the top, though. Well, it should be. I need to check a different platform to see if the right one is selected by default. So let's go to the list of platforms, and what should we use? Arcade is fine. And 10-yard fight, that works. And we'll change the platform. Arcade is selected. Bingo. Good deal. And things are in alphabetical order. So the only thing left, there's no validation required for this, because you can't deselect anything. I mean, you can't get rid of anything. So that's straightforward. Nothing to it. We just need to send up the change platform at that point. So let's figure out how to do that. Submit changes. These are our pop-ups, and then submit changes is right here. So pound submit. Oops. Really, that's it? Oh, that's right. It submits the form. All right. So we have a form, and it submits it directly to submit changes. Now, yeah, the name is platform on the select. So in theory, this is automatically going to go up directly into the games controller. Submit changes. I really like how I built this, because it's pretty streamlined. Things just happen automatically, and I don't have to worry about doing a whole lot when I add stuff. I'm more pleased with this website than pretty much anything web-wise I've built recently, um, and kind of why I wanted to do it for the forums too. Anyways, or one of the reasons. The bug for downloading images in German still exists. Ah, yes. I remember that. Okay. Um, actually, hit me up with that, Opaque. Was that on the Bitbucket? Link me to that. It opens the MS-DOS installer instead of the image wizard. Okay. All right. Submit changes. So make sure we're authenticated. We get the game key. We create a new change set. We get game details. Okay, so we're checking to see if name was returned. I've got to stop my debug session. If this dot request platform is not equal to row platform key, I'm just going to do 2 strings on these. I guess I only need it on one. We're calling get details. Yeah. Then sure, I might have missed that. I apologize, OPAC, on that if I missed that stuff earlier up in the thread. Yeah, we took a sidestep there and all that stuff, so I can go back and take a look at those. Yeah, I would say keep putting them in that thread. That's the best place to put them. And I'll go back today or tomorrow or something like that and fix anything that you mentioned there. Um, so yeah, the thread is the best place to put that stuff. So we're going to add a new change. We're going to say set.changes.add new change. Change type key equals change types change type dot change. Oops, not what I wanted to do. Fix that. We shouldn't be using hard-coded values there. Should change that across the board. Okay, and then the field name is platform key. The new value equals this dot request platform. The old value equals row platform key dot toString. In theory, that'll do it. We're going to have to walk through it and make sure that the moderation works and the changes stuff works and all that stuff. But that should do it. Let's go ahead and put a breakpoint on this and walk through it. Make sure everything's happening the way it should. The only reason why I mentioned Bitbucket OPAC was because somebody had put some errors related to the German translation up on Bitbucket as well. I always have so much trouble picking a platform to use because I'm silly. Okay. One thing I want to check. Oh, okay. As soon as that happens, as soon as you hit edit, that's fine. Change this to Atari 5200 for some stupid reason, and then we hit submit, and we have a breakpoint. And I want to check what this dot request platform is. 7, and then row platform key is 2. So yeah, it looks like we're in good shape there. That's pretty much it. Thank you. Your changes have been submitted for moderation. This would be interesting. If we view the status on that change we just added, it says change platform from the old value of 2 to the updated value of Atari 5200. Cool. Yeah, that's not too bad. This should be replaced with the platform name, but obviously it's working. We need to check to make sure that the moderation process actually sends it all the way through. So good to hear on the forums, OPEC. Does anybody else really, really hate the Twitch images? Like the Twitch smileys? Can't even tell what the heck they're supposed to be. And I'm not sure if it's if it's really Twitch. Yeah, it's definitely really Twitch. Really stupid, stupid smileys. I don't like them. It's weird. They're all creepy dudes. I don't get it. Whatever. Whine some more. All right. Anyways, yeah, I can't. They're too small, and you can't read them. And I like smileys. I've always liked emojis, whatever. But they're like the least effective emojis I have ever seen in my life on Twitch. Stupid. Anyways, so we're good here. This isn't really priority fixing that, although we should. The moderation process. We got to walk through the moderation process, and um, that guy is cool. I will agree with you there, Ali. Well, let's go ahead and moderate this change and see what happens. This is 3D pool for the Amiga needs to move to the Atari 5200. Okay. I can force the moderation process on that, although I probably should. Really what I should do, I'm going to sign out of my account, and I'm going to log in as, I bet I don't even have those credentials anymore. So let's go ahead and register as a new account. And it's no big deal. It's nice and quick. Fake email at crap.com. Okay. I'm going to submit a change as this guy. We'll go into arcade. Yeah, a little bit. Although I've seen that image full size before. I can't remember what he is though. Is that? I can't remember what that's from. I know that guy. I know that character, the big red guy. We're gonna say this is for MS-DOS, ridiculously, and then submit changes. So 10-yard fight. We're changing the platform to MS-DOS. View the status of the changes. That's good. Just curious if the rating system is still planned, going to be in the DB. Seems like a perfect match. Yeah, Meat Boy. You're right. That's what it is. Super Meat Boy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Rating system. We already have the rating system in the database, right? You're talking about um, the ability for everybody to rate games. Are you talking about getting it into LaunchBox? Is that what you're talking about, Ali? So then I'm going to sign out and moderate this guy's change is ultimately what I want to do here. So we'll log in as me now. And got to pull up my complicated password. Okay, and we'll go to moderation. And I am going to accept the change for now. So we still have the old value thing here. I need to do something about that. Okay, no errors. And I'm going to force it through all the way through so we don't have to do that with two other different people. Let's do a new query. Select star from change order by change key descending. I should have put a top in there, but there we are. This is our latest change. And I'm going to call a stored procedure called change moderation insert. We're going to execute this guy. We need a change key. This is our change key right here. Execute the stored procedure. Change key. Well, what the heck happened there? 296720. The email. Put my email in there. And we're calling it approved. And we don't need a reason for an approval. So we run it once. And then we should have it hasn't been affected yet. Run it one more time and it should make the change. So we didn't get an error. I need to view the change set. Select star from change set order by change key descending. Let's do top one. Change set key should be 23829. $23,829. I'm losing my mind here. So change. It was approved. That's what I'm looking for. So it was approved. Now the question is, did it actually change? If we take a look at the change set, the game key is 7578. Let's select star from game where game key equals 7578. Oh, come on. Get out of here. Wrong button. Execute. Platform key is 83, which is the new one, I believe. This is 10-yard fight, which should now show up on MS-DOS. So if we go into, this is amazing. It just worked. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't expect it to be that easy. That's great. Let's go. Things aren't always this smooth. So when they are, it's nice. Okay, 10-yard fight. There it is. The arcade one was switched to MS-DOS. So I'm happy with that. The only issue we run into is that the platform, the old platform value was showing the platform key instead of the name of the platform. Not a big deal, but we should fix that if we can. Let's catch up here. Oh, that's the thing. If I rate a game in LaunchBox, will it send my rating to the database? No, not right now. And that is something we want to do eventually as an opt-in thing. But yes, that is a goal. And then also, I want to add the ability in LaunchBox to view community ratings. So that's definitely something we want to tackle, but that's not there yet. Sure. Star ratings possible. User reviews for games like Steam would be awesome, and make the DB even better in LaunchBox. Yeah, agreed. I agree. That's an awesome thing. We definitely want to do that here soon. And thankfully, we're finally wrapping up the key issues we were running into with the games database, like deleting games we never had, and then I'm fixing the platform thing. And then, of course, we're going to do the comments for the submissions, but we're in good shape, and we can go do that kind of stuff here soon. Amazon Cloud works here. Currently uploading to test it out. Don't think I'll switch from SOS backup, which has been my unlimited option for a few years. But I do like the interface better. Interesting. So does this process add a platform or switch? Do games have separate records by platform, or is some info shared? So right now this is only switching platforms, which you couldn't previously do. No, games currently do not share information between platforms, which I think is the way we want to keep it. It would be nice to be able to load up a game in one platform and say, this game is also available for these platforms with links. So that is planned. That's something I'd like to do eventually. But game records will be unique to platform. So they won't be, they're never going to be the same game across all platforms. And the reason for that is it gets really wishy-washy. You never know. It's arguable whether games are sometimes the same between various platforms. Because sometimes they change. I mean, what merits a game being truly a different game? A title change, different play, different gameplay. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. So I am sold on keeping games unique to platforms, so that they're not always, or they're not. We don't have a game with several different platforms. We have a platform. A game can only have one platform, I guess, except we can add something later on to say this game is also available on these other platforms. Stifilus, when basically the way this works is there's moderators, right? Okay, so in order to become a moderator on the site, you have to make a certain number of submissions. And not only do you have to make a certain number of submissions, but you have to prove that you're making good submissions, because your submissions all have to be moderated successfully. Every single change that comes into the LaunchBox Games Database has to be moderated by 3 different people before it's accepted. And you automatically become a moderator eventually once you hit a certain threshold of successfully submitted changes that have been moderated successfully. Every single time you submit a change that is rejected, your level goes down. And you can only moderate once you've reached a certain level. I'm not doing an excellent job of explaining that, but that's the gist of it. It's actually a fairly complicated and involved process, but it's worked very well for us. Stands for one thing, and that is that we need more moderators. That's the challenge, because we're having every change be moderated 3 times, and that might change going forward, depending on how things play out, because we need to push the changes through a little bit faster than they've been coming through. But anyways, that's the gist of it. Martin, if adding a game that exists on another platform, does it copy the basic info? Just thinking reconsistency. Sure, re-consistent. Yeah, no, it doesn't right now. Right now, it's all custom. And some of the, well, there's not a whole lot of info that really could be copied, unfortunately, if you think about it. If you look at a game, for example, let's pull up this 10-yard fight. The release date is going to be different for every single platform. The ESRB is likely going to be the same, but not necessarily. Developers are going to be different for every platform. Publishers are going to be different for every platform. Genres could be the same. Max players might be different, but could be the same. Cooperative, same. I mean, most of the stuff, unfortunately, is going to be different. There's not very many fields that are going to be the same between the same game on different platforms, because generally, or oftentimes, they mix it up pretty extensively between platforms as far as the game development and publishers and everything else. Yeah, game covers will also change from platform to platform. Will have different release dates, exactly. Which is why I'm thinking. I mean, all those reasons are reasons why I like to keep a game only having one platform. Overview mainly. Yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes the overview can change depending on the platform, but so even that, sometimes it makes more sense to change it. But yeah, that would be helpful. That's a good idea. We should probably put a ticket in for that on the LaunchBox Games Database Bitbucket. That'd be good to get in there because that's a good idea. I agree. All right, so where are we at? We need to change the value names in the changes. If we go in change set in our models, change set, get, I think it's something called get new value name, get new value markup, and get old value markup. Yeah. So if it's ESRB key, we do one thing. If it ends with key, so I think this is the block that's handling it right here. In new value markup, we just got to make it work in old value markup as well, the same way. And we might need a new store procedure for that. Yeah, that's the thing. That makes a lot of sense, OPAC. That's the other thing. Yeah, you got for example, say Tony Hawk. Okay, it comes out on Tony Hawk 2 comes out on whatever, like Nintendo 64. It's one game. Comes out on various versions of Game Boy, and it's a completely different game. So yeah, that's some of the complication. So I'm thinking, I'm not sure if we can just copy this. I kind of need a separate block. If this dot field name equals platform key, and this dot old value dot trim dot length is greater than 0. Oh, you probably don't need that because it's never going to be greater than this is never going to be an issue. Get rid of that. Return HTTP context current.server.html encode. SQL helper execute stored procedure scalar string change. Really, I mean, we can. But wait a second. What is going on here? Get old value name. Change key. Oh, the change key has all the information in it. I see. Gotcha. In theory, that's all we need. Unless there's something else we need in the stored procedure. But I'll check that in a second. Let's give this a shot. So who am I logged in as? I'm logged in as me. And I'm not going to see anything in moderation. I kind of need to log in as my other account. Let's log in as, what was it, fake email at crap.com. Password. Okay. Changes status. We have, there it is. That did it. Boom. We're in good shape. Works for me. All right. So the other thing on our list, we got 15 minutes left. So I'm not sure if I should tackle this right now. I wonder how quick we can do it. The only thing left on the list is, I mean, this is ready to deploy. That's great. We can just deploy this up right now for the platform change. The only thing left on the list then is comments, submission comments for changes. And in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to create a pop-up that lets people add those comments. But it's more extensive because we have to modify the moderation process to show the comments. So that's kind of the trick there. So that's not going to be quick, but we could get started on that. Take a look at my to-do here. This is the wrong project. So LED Blinky, we did get this done. We got allow changing platform done. I definitely need to test the non-premium eMovies subscription yet. I was waiting for non-premium credentials from Circo on that, so I could do that easily. Let's go through this. Wanted to do random game videos, play one after the other. That's the whole fading thing. That would be nice. That's not going to happen for 6.4, but hopefully after that, shortly after that, we can do it. VLC videos don't show at first launch. That's a glitch, but I don't really feel like tackling that. So 6.4 is going to go out without that fix. And then the translation issues, I had put that in there to work on the German translation. That's done. Renaming a platform changes folders but doesn't move content. That's not going to be fixed for 6.4. Multi-threaded eMovies downloads, not for 6.4. Theme videos, we wanted to add that. But again, that's not going to happen for 6.4. Probably none of this stuff will. And then this was for Rocket Launcher. Some extra fields. This is a big thing for the games database, adding data regarding the checksums and ROM releases and stuff like that. which would be nice, but that's not going to happen quickly. That's just a thing with the repository I need to clean up. Platforms form. Way to easily move everything. Oh, because we got a million different folders on managed platforms. So it'd be nice to be able to batch move everything at once. So that's what I'm thinking there. Although, again, not 6.4. This is a glitch that somebody reported a long time ago that I kind of need to look into. I should probably move that up my list and do that today. So, submission comments. I'm not going to prioritize that today, although we definitely need that to happen as quickly as possible. Or not as quickly as possible necessarily, but soon. But I want to get 6.4 out quickly. So I just need to make everything as stable as possible with 6.4. I fixed a bunch of the glitches yesterday, so we're in good shape, really. But we have the translation issues, and there's some new stuff that came up in the beta testing thread that I need to take a look at. So my focus for the rest of the day today is going to be getting 6.4 out to a releasable state, and then it'll just be getting the translation stuff all done so we can push that out. And after that, we can start tackling the big stuff. The highest priority thing in my book once 6.4 comes out is LED Blinky. And that's just selfish of me because we're building the arcade, the bar top arcade. So I want to get going on that. But again, that I don't really want to do that until after the 6.4 release comes out. But I was going to do it today, just if everybody was really excited about it. But anyways, that's hard to get excited about unless you have an arcade cabinet that supports it. But of course, we want to support those types of arcade cabinets. So that's a big one. But anyways, let's see where we're at on comments. Thank you, Pac-Man. Comment should be sent to the person if their proposal was declined, and they are. That's already there, Shades. It comes in the comment status. And right now we don't send emails. That's another thing we should probably be doing for the games database. I'm willing to bet if we sent emails out for when your changes were accepted or rejected and that kind of thing, that would help it take off a lot. And it might get annoying, so we definitely need email controls so you can control when you get an email and all that stuff. But I also think that would be a big improvement, and it would help us get a lot more traffic in the moderation process and everything else. So that's yeah, right. Like I said, Shades, right now we're not sending out emails. What we are doing is you can go manually on the site and go to the changes status, and you can see all those details, including the comments. Nobody can reject changes without putting in a comment. So you can see that stuff. You're just not going to get automatically notified about it right now, which we should change for sure. As a matter of fact, that's a big deal. I should add that to my immediate list here because that would really help people to be on the site a lot more often and actually make more changes and do more moderation and everything else. So, big deal. Send an insult if the proposal was declined. Yeah, that would be fun. I'd like to do that, but I don't think we can. Stiflets, out of curiosity, why are there PS4 and Xbox One games in the database? Honestly, the biggest reason why there's PS4 and Xbox One games in there is because it all came from the GamesDB.net, and the GamesDB.net had them. You know, and I don't really want to go through and remove them because we got a lot of good contributions for that stuff, and eventually, it will. In 5 years down the road, they will matter. But right now, obviously, it doesn't. But ultimately, it was because of contributions that came from the GamesDB.net. Originally, all the data was migrated over from the GamesDB.net legally. We had the legal permissions to do that. And actually, the GamesDB.net continuously encourages people to do that. So we didn't make anybody angry by taking all that data, is what I'm trying to say. They were happy with us doing that, and we ended up building the whole site because we used to use the gamesdb.net and they had so many stability issues that I was basically putting out a fire, making sure that the LaunchBox could be used. So that's where that came from. The reason why we've got that stuff in there is just because all that data came from there. I wouldn't have bothered with it, to be honest. Martin, on import, move the buttons on the eMovies images selection to the bottom to be consistent with LaunchBox database images. Did you put a ticket in for that, Martin on Bitbucket? Martin on Bitbucket? I think I saw that. Basically, just make things more uniform in the interface. Sure, that makes sense. Pac-Man just ordered my LED Wiz and nice, an RGB LED buttons today. Been selfish too. Cool, that's awesome. Let me know how that goes. Monster Arcades is thankfully doing all the wiring for me and all that stuff. So I won't be diving into the wiring. I'm just gonna have to, and I didn't want to have to mess with that because I got to do the development for the software side of it, so I don't want to slow that down. Important question. Couldn't find an option to hide the email address in the forums. Isn't there an option for it, or am I just too dumb? Email addresses aren't, as far as I know, are not available for everybody. I think they're only just I can see them obviously, but I don't think the entire community can see them. I'm almost positive on that, but uh, almost. I'm not 100%. Can we have an official art category and not just fan art? I would rather. Eh, maybe, maybe. I know where you're going with that. Um, although I prefer. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. What do you guys think? Art and add another image category. See, the thing is, we just added all these image categories, and if I add another one, I got to update not only LaunchBox Games Database, but I also got to update LaunchBox, and it's a major job to add a category. So, what do you guys think? Is that worth doing? Hey, hey, Sarah or Seraph. Um, thank you, Martin. Has anybody mentioned grouped games? You click on someone's name, you can. Oh, they are. Okay. That's good to know. Sorry about that. I didn't know that. I thought it was. That stinks. I didn't know that was available. I'll look into that. I'm sorry, Shades. I should take these more positively. I always like the feedback, so forgive me on that. But yes, I see where you're going with that. I understand that. Let's put a ticket in there for that. It's not something I'm going to get to anytime soon, unfortunately, because of course we just got so much stuff to do. But we'll hopefully get to it eventually here. Cut down on the number of categories. Yeah, I know. The thing is, I can't win. I anger people when I do anything. Um, I think I like the fact that there's all these image categories. It's important, especially maybe not for LaunchBox, but for the games database. It's incredibly important that we have all these different types of images and we can classify them correctly. So I'm sold on that. But inside LaunchBox, yeah, it gets unwieldy. But you don't have to do anything with the categories you don't want though. So, and we cleaned it up by grouping the categories together really well, so that you have the parent categories, and then you have the details, the categories that are more specific underneath them, which I think really helps. I'm really pleased with how we did all that stuff in Launchbox. Cool, Shades. Thank you. What I would add is a section for maps and cheats and walkthroughs. Absolutely, that's a great idea. We already have one for manuals. Sure, sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Again, we should bit bucket that out. I think that's come up somewhere. I'm not sure if there's a ticket for that or not though. But yeah, I agree. That would be helpful. That'd be good to have. All right, guys. Well, I am gonna go ahead and end the stream. I appreciate all the feedback. It's another good session today, or much better than I felt like Monday was just irritating because I ran into so many issues. Although we did get quite a bit done. But yeah, a good day. What did we get done today? We got um, the options reorganized in Big Box. We got the games database platforms changing done, and we got ScummVM upgraded. Not too bad for 3 hours, 3 hour stream. So I'm pretty happy. Thanks for all the feedback and the discussion, and I will see you guys soon. I'll have my LaunchBox Developer Sessions video out tomorrow morning probably. And then I'll see you guys on Monday. We're back to the 9:30 a.m. PST time permanently again, thankfully, which works better. So, thank you all. Appreciate it. Take it easy, guys.